Good evening, everybody. My name is Drew Bingaman, also known as Dread Pirate Drew online. Drew's fine. It's all good. Whatever. I am one of the founders and current captain of the Pennsylvania Pirate Party. I have been involved in third-party and independent politics in Pennsylvania and nationally for over 10 years. I'm an IT guy by trade, so the Pirate Party kind of perfectly fit as I see the digital frontier and digital freedoms and those things. I think those are the largest fronts on the war on freedom. Privacy is a big one. And I think those things are good for against big corporations and government overlords. We must be able to control our own data, and it must be secure. Those are some of the core beliefs of modern pirates, and we take a cue from historical pirates who practice democracy, equality, and egalitarianism on board their pirate vessels. When you put those two together, you have the makings of the modern pirate party. So in other words, the pirate party is based on the principle that individuals should have the right to share and distribute information freely without being restricted by copyright laws or other legal barriers. Also, it advocates for the protection of individual privacy, both online and offline, and the promotion of open and fully transparent government, as well as free and fair elections, which they are not right now. I'm going to be talking about a few piratey topics. Hang in there. None of these will be too long, so bear with me, and we will get through all of this. So, one of the big things with the Pirate Party is copyright. Copyright laws were created with the intention of protecting the intellectual properties of creators and encouraging innovation. However, the current copyright system has become excessively restrictive, granting copyright holders exclusive rights over their works for far too long. This has created a monopoly on creativity, stifling the progress of art, science, and culture, and it's time to severely limit that duration. Copyright duration is currently, it lasts for the lifetime of the creator plus an additional 70 years after their death. This means that even after the creator has passed away, their works are still under exclusive control, depriving society of the opportunity to build upon them. Such a lengthy copyright term may have been appropriate in the past. I don't think it ever is appropriate for that long. When the costs of publishing and distribution were high, but in today's digital age, it is no longer necessary. So what we see is Disney is probably the biggest example of this. I mean, how long ago did Walt Disney pass away? I think it was it the late 60s or early 70s? Anyways, it's been 50 years now since his death, at least. And they're still fighting for copyright of things. So the Disney Corporation basically inherited Walt Disney, anything Walt Disney created. And it also, I'm sure through its contracts, has copyright on anything that it produced as a corporation, not necessarily with the authors. So what we're talking about is after an author or creator has passed away, those rights are then left into the hands of some corporation. And that's, they don't go to the public domain, which I think they should. Anyways, one of the biggest problems with the current copyright system is it restricts access to information and knowledge. Copyright holders have the power to control the distribution and use of their works. They often use this power to limit access to information and knowledge that could be beneficial to society as a whole. By limiting the duration of the copyright, we can ensure that knowledge and information can remain accessible to all. By having some sort of a paywall in the information, you are stifling innovation, information sharing, having free, the original promise of the internet was free access to information, that the information of all mankind should be able to be gathered on this network, on this digital network, and be able to be accessed by all of humanity. That, to me, is the ultimate promise of the internet, and it is not living up to it in this corporate hellscape we live in right now. Moreover, excessively long copyright terms stifle creativity by limiting the ability of artists, writers, and other creators to build upon existing works. It is difficult. You cannot publish for profit a fan fiction, let's say, and that it's always going to be considered fan fiction. Now, if you write a story with the permission of the original author, that can become quote-unquote canon. And I think this is where certain things, after a period of time, things that we love, become part of our culture. Whether they're copyrighted or not, let's just put it this way. Many of the Marvel characters are part of our culture. Many of the Star Wars characters are part of our culture. Let's go a step further back. Lord of the Rings characters are part of our culture. But they're still all copyrighted. Everything's copyrighted. And we can't collectively write more stories in those universes without having copyright issues. And so that's where it's stifling our creativity, and even using parts or images from those things in a completely new work. Again, it's stifling creativity, creativity and art and new works that can be interesting. So, in my opinion, severely limiting copyright duration would not only foster innovation and creativity, but also enable creators to earn a fair return on their investment. By reducing the time that works are under copyright protection, we can encourage creators to produce new works that can be shared with society and generate new sources of revenue. This would create a more equitable balance between the interests of the creators and the public. So, in other words, the idea is that that by having copyright have a reasonable expiration, you cannot just rely on a one-hit wonder. Let's just say that George Lucas wrote Star Wars: A New Hope, Episode 4, and we know it's Episode 4. But the movie does so well that George lives the rest of his life on residuals or whatever he got from that, and never writes another one because he doesn't need to. Maybe he wants to, but it's a lot of work. We never get any of the other episodes. We did get the other episodes because George Lucas really wanted to tell his story, but he didn't have to. And until he sold to Disney, nobody else was going to tell that story. Nobody else was going to expand on that story. Disney is already doing, essentially, with Star Wars, what a shorter term on copyright would encourage. It would encourage new products, new stories, new music, to come out within the already existing universes, within the framework of those universes that they already have, and it would push content creators to keep creating content within their sphere of creativity. Eventually, the original works would become part of the public domain, and the later works would still be copyright protected for a period of time. And we get more overall from our creators. So it would be a bit of a carrot and stick kind of a thing. So severely limiting copyright duration would not only foster innovation and creativity, but also enable creators a fair return on investment. I think I said this already. In conclusion, that's where I'm at. It's time to reevaluate our current copyright system and severely limit the duration of copyright protection. Doing so would promote innovation, creativity, and knowledge sharing while enabling creators to earn a fair return on their investment. By striking a better balance between the interests of creators and the public, we can create a more just and equitable society. So the other thing that goes along with copyright is always the patent discussion. The patent system, which grants exclusive rights to inventors and their creations, has been a cornerstone of innovation and progress for centuries. However, in recent times, the system has been criticized for its flaws, and needs for reform has become increasingly urgent. The first major issue with the patent system is the lengthy and costly process of obtaining a patent. Patent applications often take several years to be approved, and fees associated with the process can be exorbitant, especially for small businesses and individual inventors. This is the key. You'll see a theme here. This can create a significant barrier to entry for innovators who lack resources to navigate the system, potentially stifling creativity and preventing important innovations from coming to fruition. Another problem, probably I think is the biggest problem with patent system, is the existence of patent trolls. And if you don't know what patent trolls are, they are individuals or companies that purchase patents with the sole purpose of suing other companies for infringement. Patent trolls often target small businesses that lack resources to fight back, resulting in expensive legal battles and a chilling effect on innovation. So, a true patent troll company is a company that exists solely to earn revenue based on the patents it owns. And when I say earn revenue, I mean it's only through intimidation and legal action, or the threat of legal action. They don't make anything. They purchased patents, many patents. A lot of times they don't even understand how their patents work, and they just sue people or send threatening letters. And that is a complete and, unfortunately, legitimate business model in the current patent framework. And I think that really needs to change. Moreover, the current patent system does not always incentivize true innovation, but instead it rewards companies for filing patents on minor variations of existing products or technologies. This can lead to a flood of frivolous patent lawsuits. And it just makes everything that we've already talked about so much, just worse. Patents should not be granted for an existing invention with something added, like one thing that is not new, but we've never had this thing with this on it. I think maybe my best example would be, you can't patent a hot dog with barbecue sauce. Most people would probably, first of all, not like it. But you can't patent a new thing by taking a hot dog, a plain hot dog, and say, well, I put barbecue sauce on it, so now it's a new thing. Now it's a barbecue hot dog, or it's a barbecue sauce hot dog. That should not be patentable. But very similarly, similar things happen in code, in genetic patents, where there is something that is already a current thing that is then added to a small innovation or a small add-on, or we added a cell phone to, we added a cellular radio to a clock. I mean, that's not a new thing. That's not a new device. That is not a new patentable thing. You just took one thing and added something else that's already something else to it. Combining two things together does not make a whole new innovative device. It can be handy, but it's not a whole new thing. To address these problems, the patent system needs reform. One potential solution is to streamline the patent process and reduce fees and make it accessible for individuals and small businesses. This will help small businesses be able to protect themselves and small inventors or independent inventors. But honestly, it doesn't really address the problem of the trolls and the lawsuits and the terribly administered process. Another solution is to crack down on patent trolls, which is what I think we should do, by making it more difficult for them to file these frivolous lawsuits. It could be achieved by introducing a more stringent requirements for patent validity and by imposing penalties on patent trolls who abuse the system. All of those things. Finally, the patent system needs to incentivize true innovation rather than simply rewarding companies for filing patents. This could be achieved by introducing more rigorous standards for patentability, requiring a higher degree of novelty. That's your key phrase, a higher degree of novelty and inventiveness for patents to be granted. In conclusion, the patent system has played an important role in driving innovation and progress, but it is severely broken. And we need to address the flaws in the system. By streamlining the patent application process and cracking down on patent trolls, incentivizing true innovation, we can create a patent system that truly serves the interests of inventors, businesses, and society as a whole. So, now is probably a good time to pause and take a breath if you would like to.